Knoxville. They're lean, they're mean, they're 700 horses, a man and machine. They're full wide, green flag, showtime, the Knoxville Nationals are green.
All right, sorry about that, folks. As we get set to rock and roll here from Knoxville tonight, we're running here the Blake Blocks 358s. So starting off with just the 358s right now, then we'll move on to the big blocks here in a little while as we'll take a good look here at the standings. Let's see if we can get them up for you here. Up here, so I kind of relay what's going on here. Standings. We're at the Thursday night 358. We have Samuel Bachman in the lead with 584 points. Trevor Garou there in second with 560 points. Anthony Milano in third with 521 points. Mike Brewer in fourth with 498 points. And then Kelly Wheeler with 494 points. So it's going to come down pretty closely there towards the bottom edge of that grid. We'll see how after tonight's race this all stacks up. As they head on down through here, you'll see them here finishing up practice here as they'll get ready to qualify here in just a few moments. We got the 99 of Glenn Sharp out there. Harold Klump out in 11th. In that number 2 machine. Scott Riom going back out on track, try to get some more laps here. Mike Brewer out there as well. Sam Bachman, as we said, is our points leader. See how well he completes here after tonight. I think I've been watching Sam struggle a little bit here, trying to get that car to rotate enough for him. Mike Brewer there in second. Scott Riom here in fifth, or fifth fastest, I should say, in practice. And at 4:44. These drivers doing what they can here, just to get the feel of the cars before we start here tonight. I believe next week is the last race of the season, if I'm thinking correct, as we go a 12-week season, I think. Let me check the schedule. That'll tell me for sure. Let me check that schedule real fast as we're getting into qualifying. Oh, no, 13 weeks. Okay, so 13 weeks. On down through here, there you see the 213 of Michael Vitale. He's coming out there trying to get some momentum built up. There's Randall Dixon in at 011. He as well is trying to get something to happen. There we go. Brandon Templeton lays down your first time with a 19.507, and now they're coming in a little quicker as you got Harold Klump out there with a 4.97. Michael Vitale laying down a 4.13. I'm just jumping in all over the place here as they all come out qualifying. You got that 0111 there. You got Michael Vitale currently in the lead right now with a 19.413. Dean Reynolds with a 19.447. Scott Riom with a 19.479. Randall Dixon, what a good run for him there, getting himself into fourth right now with a 19.487. I'm going to try to keep myself hydrated here enough because I don't know what's going on. Sinuses are giving me issues here tonight. All right, here we go. Heat number one, gridding up. At heat number one, Joseph Grundy out there in front. Brian Dickens there second. Randall Dixon third. Michael Vitale fourth. Sam Bachman fifth with Jeff Barker sixth. Mike Brewer comes out there in seventh with John Dubai there in eighth. Glenn Sharp in ninth. And Michael Todd will roll up in 10th. That is your starting grid for heat number one as we get ready to roll off here. You see them all lined up there. I think we're missing two, Glenn Sharp and Michael Todd. It does not look like they took the grid. Now, forgive me, folks, I'm going to do the best I can here tonight to try to keep these numbers straight. My eyes are acting up something fierce today. Crisscrossing and bouncing all over the dang place. So we're going to do the best we can here at Figure Farm TV tonight. Work through this and bring you the best show we can. Eight laps to the distance here for heat number 1. As come here off of turn number 3 and 4. Heading towards that start-finish line. Pace car pulling off. Or do I got myself turned? I got myself turned around. They're coming out of 2, not 4. So I have myself turned around. As many of you know, here at Blinker Farm TV is a very common factor where I get myself all spun around here at these tracks as they work here off the 4 now. Getting ready to take that green, and down they go on that loud pedal down here in the corner number 1. Randall Dixon doing a little bit of a shake there coming on the start. Ends up there almost 3 wide there with Vitale to his outside as it worked down there through off the back stretch. Joseph Grundy out front, Brian Dickens right there in that 122, right there on his bumper. And right there behind him is Michael Vitale. And Randall Dixon holding strong down there on the inside as they roll down here in the corner number 1. Here comes Sam Bachman, though. He's looking down there below Randall Dixon down there through the back stretch into corner number 3 they go. Brian Dickens up here in second as he looks to the inside. Cannot quite get there as of yet as they roll through here. 7 laps to go here in heat number 1. Now it's 6 laps to go. Down here in the corner number 1 they go. Michael Vitale there in third. Randall Dixon there fourth. Sam Bachman back here in fifth as he's got to his outside Jeff Barker. Jeff Barker trying to make something happen up there on that high line as they also got that 390 of Mike Brewer trying to work his way on through as they're up there on that high side. I just don't know, Bachman, if that inside lane is going to really work for you as that outside lane just keeps prevailing a little by little here. It almost looks like that outer lane is going to be the better lane. And from what I've kind of figured out here at Knoxville, you almost want to be center of the turns going through. And look out, looks like Brewer got a little bit out of shape coming there through turns 3 and 4. 4 laps to go here in heat number 1. Joseph Grundy out there in front. Brian Dickens there in second. Michael Vitale there third. Hanging down here in fourth is Randall Dixon. Jeff Barker here fifth. Sam Bachman sixth. As they work on down through here off the stripe, it is 3 laps to go now in heat number 1. Down here through off of turn number 2, heading towards the back stretch. Everybody doing what they can. Michael Vitale there in third. Joseph Grundy out front. Sam Bachman still hanging on that bottom side a little bit. Now he's moved it up the lane into that up there where everybody else seems to be getting a little bit better run. Unfortunately, though, it's dropped him back into 6th. Jeff Barker up to 5th. Randall Dixon, he's dropped back 1 into 4th as Michael Vitale moved up into 3rd. And other than that, everything's been kind of unchanged. You see Vitale there at the back bumper of Dickens as he tries to find a way around. Joseph Grundy up there to the high side as Dickens takes a shot to the inside. Does not have the momentum there as they come down here into corner number 3 and 4 for the final time here in heat number 1. Right there above the slick they go. Down here off the corner. Grundy out front. Dickens there in second. Vitale there third. Randall Dixon there in fourth. All right, here we go. Heat result for heat number 1. Going to be Joseph Grundy. Brian Dickens there second. Michael Vitale third. Randall Dixon fourth. Jeff Barker fifth. Sam Bachman sixth. John Dubai there seventh. Mike Brewer eighth. Glenn Sharp there in ninth. And Michael Todd rounds out your field there for finishing in heat number 1. Heat number 2. Matt Barber out front with Brandon Templeton there second. Kurt Schatzer there third. Dean Reynolds there fourth. Anthony Morano there fifth. Ryland Banks there in sixth. Dylan Kinsey seventh. Bob DeGood there in eighth. And Clay Christopherson in ninth. That is your heat number 2 lineup as we get them around the racetrack and get them started here. And see that 218 of Kurt Schatzer down there on the bottom side. Matt Barber out front. Got Dean Reynolds there in fourth. Not sure what's happening there. Why we all of a sudden lost everybody? Everybody's back, though. I'm not sure what that hiccup was for. Pace car is off. We're going back. Green flag racing here in just a short moment. Hey, driver work here off up the board. Down there on the inside is Matt Barber. Your control car gets on that loud pedal down here in corner number 1. And down there on the inside as well is that 218 of Kurt Schatzer. The 31 of Brandon Templeton getting a great run there on the higher line as they work there through in the corner number 3 and 4. Templeton doing what he can on that high line. They're now working off of the corner. Everybody kind of single files out. Anthony Morano jumps up here into 4th position as he tries to get something worked out there down there on the low line. Cannot quite get there as Dean Reynolds and him battle it out for 4th and 5th position. Through turn 3 and 4. Oh, come on now, drivers. There we go. I'm not sure why. Oh, hang on to it. You got the 51 of Clay Christopherson and Anthony Morano bouncing up over the top of the curb. Now Dean Reynolds up there into the outside wall a little bit down here in the corner number 3. 6 laps to go here in heat number 2. Everybody does what they can down here in the corner number 1. Kurt Schatzer there in 3rd. Matt Barber working on the inside of Brandon Templeton working on the bottom side of Matt Barber. He tries to come up and get him. Oh, hang on to it. Getting a little close there, coming off the corner. Great racing going on up front there. Anthony Morano falls back in the 5th position behind Dean Reynolds. That 218 of Kurt Schatzer, he's there behind that 31 of Brandon Templeton. As Brandon Templeton now gets another run here at Matt Barber. Up here 4 to go. Round off the corner. What type of run will they get down here in the corner number 1? Matt Barber looking down there to the low side here, in through 1 and 2. Drag racing it down the backstretch, cannot quite get there. Oh, come on now. Why are you doing this to me down the backstretch here tonight? Heat 1 ran fine. Now it's giving me problems here in Heat 2. They were going down through off of the corner. You see Anthony Morano there to the inside. Dean Reynolds. Clay Christopherson down there on the bottom side. Dylan Kinsey back here in about 8th, now 7th, as he fights for position. Clay Christopherson there in 6th. Now he's looking to see if he can get up there and battle with Dean Reynolds and Anthony Morano as he goes down there to the inside along the bottom edge of the racetrack. Gets around Morano for the moment. Can he keep it there? No, he cannot. Going to fall back in behind. As Morano now looks down low here underneath Dean Reynolds. Cannot quite complete anything as they come off the corner for the checkered flag coming across the line. Matt Barber, your winner with Brandon Templeton there in 2nd. Kurt Schatzer 3rd. Heat 2 results. Matt Barber is your winner. Brandon Templeton 2nd. Kurt Schatzer 3rd. Dean Reynolds 4th. Anthony Morano there 5th. Clay Christopherson there in 6th. Dylan Kinsey there 7th. Ryland Banks there in 8th. And then Bob DeGood finishes out there in 9th. All right, heat number 3, the grid. Going to be Alex Pomerleau out there in front. Randy Shreves there 2nd. Harold Klump in 3rd. Scott Riome 4th. Kelly Wheeler 5th. Brian Moore in 6th. Trevor Garou rolls off in 7th with Mason Hine in 8th. And William Watson in 9th. All right, here we go, looking great. At 397, Alex Pomerleau down there on the inside, just waiting to get this show on the road for heat number 3. Pace car is off. Now they're just waiting for that green flag to drop. And away they go down here in the corner number 1 they go. In the 1 they go with the loud pedal pressed. Alex Pomerleau out front. Randy Shreves their second. Harold Klump now in third as they battle it out down the backstretch. Scott Riome trying to get that outside lane to work. They go 3 wide. We got Kelly Wheeler down there on the inside. He tries to get something gathered up. Cannot quite do it yet. As the 55, Brian Moore is there as well. Real tight racing here in heat number 3. And you got Scott Riome there in that 444, working down here into corner number 3. The 56 of Randy Shreves up there in second. Alex Pomerleau up there in front. Scott Riome there third. Kelly Wheeler working his way up there in the 4th now. 6 laps to go here in heat number 3. A little bit getting loose there for Scott Riome. In that 4th, he tries to figure out which lane he wants as he gets down to the top side. And now Kelly Wheeler kind of boxes him in there as he now goes up top. Kelly Wheeler now has to really watch himself there on the 56 of Randy Shreves. Had to kind of back off of it just slightly as they battle it out back there for 4th place between Kelly Wheeler and Scott Riome. That's 3rd and 4th. As battle on down through turn number 1 and 2. Brian Moore back here 5th. Harold Klump in 6th. They all roll down here. It is Randy Shreves there in 2nd. Trying to catch that 397 of Alex Pomerleau, who is out front at this point in time. Randy Shreves in 2nd. Scott Riome there 3rd. Kelly Wheeler there 4th. And at 55, Brian Moore sitting there in 5th right now as they roll around here onto the backstretch down in the corner number 3 once again. Coming around here to 2 to go as Alex Pomerleau still leads the way. And they all are sliding around trying to get that little bit of traction again to try to get up there toward the front. Side by side, there you see that 23 of William Watson moving up through as he's up 3 spots from where he started. Harold Klump's kind of falling back here as he has fallen back 4 positions from the start of this race. Coming here out of turn number 4, here Alex Pomerleau out front, holding on to that lead where he kind of started here. As you got Randy Shreves there in 2nd, Scott Riome there 3rd, Kelly Wheeler there in 4th, Brian Moore in 5th. As off the corner they go. Coming across the line, it is going to be Alex Pomerleau for the win. Randy Shreves there 2nd. Scott Riome in 3rd with Kelly Wheeler in 4th in that number 11 machine. All right, here we go. Results for heat number 3. Alex Pomerleau out front is your winner. Randy Shreves in 2nd. Scott Riome 3rd. Kelly Wheeler there in 4th. Brian Moore there 5th. William Watson there 6th. Harold Klump in 7th. Trevor Garou there 8th. Mason Hine in 9th. All right, we are currently in the consolation. We'll show the grid for it. Jeff Barker out front, Anthony Morano in 2nd. Brian Moore will roll off 3rd. Sam Bachman 4th. Clay Christopherson there 5th. William Watson 6th. John Dubai 7th. Dylan Kinsey there 8th. Harold Klump 9th. Mike Brewer in 10th. Rylan Banks in 11th. Trevor Garou there in 12th and 13th here. It's going to be Glenn Sharp, Bob the Good there in 14th. Mason Hine 15th and Michael Todd in 16th. This is for the LCQ, your last chance qualifier. Glenn Sharp and Michael Todd did not come to the grid. All right, let's see how this plays out. Sam Bachman there in third. And that 007 is your points leader here in the 358 division. 9 laps is the distance, so as they come here out of corner number 4. Pace car is off. We're going to get back to that green flag racing. Green flag. Whoa, what a jump there from the... I want to say that was a jump from the start there for the 89... Ryland, or 79, or 76, sorry, of Ryland Banks jumping that start. As they roll down here through off of turn number 1, Jeff Barker out front with Anthony Morano there second, running that higher line. There you see down there Sam Bachman in third, William Watson fourth, Clay Christopherson trying to get that inside lane to work there below that number 23 of William Watson as they come on down through there. Dylan Kinsey there in 6th, Brian Moore in 7th, Mike Brewer here in 8th, Trevor Giroux in 9th, as he is second in the points up there on the top side, trying to get something that worked together for him here tonight. As Ryland Banks jumped it to the pits here after making that mistake on the start, jumping it. Head on down here in corner number 1. Christopherson getting a great run down there on the bottom side. Can he hold on to it as Anthony Morano ups up there to his high side? Down in the corner number 3 and 4. Battling up there is Sam Bachman in 3rd spot. Jeff Barker there in 5th. As they battle it on down here in the corner number 1 and 2. You can see all the FTM Motorsport machines up there towards the front. With Clay Christopherson up there in front right now. Anthony Morano there in 2nd. Sam Bachman there 3rd. William Watson in 4th. Dylan Kinsey there 5th. Jeff Barker in 6th, now 7th. And Mike Brewer gets around him down there on the bottom side. Eight guys travel down the backstretch now. 5 laps to go here in the LCQ. Up here through off of the corner they go. 4 laps to go now with Clay Christopherson leading the way. Anthony Morano there in 2nd. Sam Bachman there 3rd. And I believe Morano, if I remember correctly from when I looked at the stats, he is sitting in 3rd place on the standings. Yes, Morano is 3rd place on the standings. Currently 2nd right now. Bachman trying to get up there to battle him as we've got 3 laps to go here in the LCQ down here around off the corner. Looking to the inside as Sam Bachman can't quite get there though. Down here in the corner number 1. And through the corner, Anthony Morano way up the racetrack. That's going to cost him a spot or 2. As now he battles back up there. He's got to try to really reel it in. As Bachman comes around down there on the bottom side. Got it tight. End up sliding up. Had to kind of get out of it a little bit. That's going to let Anthony Morano back into that 2nd position. Last lap here as Bachman's down here on the bottom side. Final lap here as they battle it on out. Clay Christopherson out there in front. Anthony Morano there in 2nd. Sam Bachman 3rd. And that's going to be about how they finish here in the LCQ as that 23 of William Watson is going to fall back here in the 4th position and they come across the line. All right, here is your finishing order of your LCQ. Clay Christopherson, Anthony Morano in 2nd, Sam Bachman in 3rd, William Watson 4th, 5th goes to Dylan Kinsey, 6th, Mike Brewer, Trevor Giroux there in 7th, Jeff Barker 8th, Brian Moore in 9th, John Dubai there in 10th, Bob DeGood there in 11th, Harold Plump 12th, Jason Hine there in 13th, Ryland Banks 14th, Glenn Sharp in 15th, and Michael Todd in 16th. All right, and we'll be back after this short message here with the main feature here for the 358s.
these dollars that come together to support us. And we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, back here from the Speedway. Our grid for this evening. Gonna be Joseph Grande starting off in front with Matt Barber. They're outside row number 1 and second. Row number 2 is going to be Alex Parmalu with Brian Dickens, his outside in 4th. Row number 3, Brandon Templeton starting in 5th with Randy Shreves in 6th. Row number 4 is Michael Vitale on the inside in 7th with Kurt Schatzer in 8th. Scott Riome in 9th inside row number 5 with Randall Dixon to his outside. In row number 6, it's going to be in the 11th position in at number 79, Dean Reynolds. In 12th position, outside row number 6, going to be that 110 of Kelly Wheeler. Heading on down through into row number 7, that's going to be Clay Christopherson in 13th on the inside. Anthony Morano there in 14th to his outside. Sam Bachman in 15th with William Watson starting in 16th outside row number 8. Inside row number 9 is Dylan Kinsey with Mike Brewer to his outside in row number 9. And in row 10, it's Trevor Garou there in 19th with Jeff Parker to his outside in 20th. In row number 11, that's going to be Brian Moore on the inside in 21st. And to his outside is John Dubai and the number 21 starting 22nd. Inside row number 12, it's going to be Bob the Good down there in 23rd, and Harold Klump to his outside starting in 24th. Coming out of turn number 4 they come. They're going to get ready to get on that loud pedal. Green flag is out. Here we go. We're down and away. Main feature event here tonight for the Coast to Coast Racing League. Hey, driver, come on down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Hang on to it. Brian Dickens down there on the inside as they try to wrap it around there. Brandon Templeton up there in 3rd. Matt Barber there in 2nd. Alex Parmalu sitting out there in front. Had a great run there in his feature race. Not his feature, in his heat race. Had a great run there as he didn't really look back from it here as they worked out of corner number 4. Down through the front stretch, you see that 122 there. Brian Dickens, he's trying to work his way up through there. Michael Vitale also down there on the inside for LFM. And you see Randy Shreves there in that number 56. He's going to try to work his way up there towards the front. You've got Dean Reynolds as well trying to find his way up there. It's 30 laps for the distance tonight as everybody works around here off of 2. We're currently on lap number 4. Down through the back stretch. Brian Dickens down there on the inside, going to give the slide job there Brandon Templeton ends up getting him a little bit out of whack. He ends up back into third position. Could be in danger of going to fourth. I guess Alex Parmalee dropped back into fourth. Dickens now falls there, is in battle with Brandon Templeton. As Templeton tries to get back up there towards the front. Matt Barber now as your race leader in at number 16. Looking real smooth down there on the bottom edge of the racetrack. Not much there really if you look at it. With the way the slick's set up, he's going to run a little higher above the slick here through turns 3 and 4. Brian Dickens there in second. Matt Barber, now let's see. He'll drop it back down there to the inside through turns 1 and 2. Brian Dickens up there on the top side through both corners. Running through the little bit of a slick spot in the entry, coming there through off of the corner. Brandon Templeton's right there behind him. Alex Parmalee, and you've got a fleet of cars coming behind him. As you see, the 213 of Vitale. Dean Reynolds right there behind him. The 56 of Randy Shreves down there on the inside. Can't quite make a move there on Vitale as Vitale now works up there into, look at them cars bounce there around the racetrack. Look out, here comes the 444 of Scott Riome as he's up there in 8th right now. 22 laps to go. Clay Chris Thompson, he's working the bottom side of the racetrack as well. Can't quite get the run off the corner that he needs to get up there underneath Randall Dixon. As Dixon's up there to the back of the 218 of Kurt Satzer. Brian Dickens still hangs on to second as Barber is there out front. Templeton there third. Alex Parmalee fourth. Michael Vitale back here fifth. Randy Shreves in sixth. As these drivers are putting on a show here tonight from Knoxville. 21 laps to go. Heading down here through the front stretch into corner number 1 to go. Brandon Templeton there in third. Alex Parmalee there fourth. Michael Vitale fifth. Everybody is trying to find out how to get some momentum, trying to figure out where to make these passes. There you see Anthony Morano working down there on the inside. He probably would like to try to stay ahead of this man here in that 007, Sam Bachman, because that'll help him gain a little bit on the points table if he can finish ahead of Sam. Sam's going to have some issues here. Matt Barber up there in front. And the other guy who's in second, I believe that was, oh, dang, let me look at the standings again here. We're talking about it. Trevor Garou. Trevor Garou, he's struggling here tonight as he is back here towards the back. Second in points, but struggling really bad here at Knoxville as he's back here in about 23rd. Now he's moving up through. Trevor Garou back in about 23rd position as he's trying to find ways of making something happen. Michael Vitale working to the outside there of Randy Shreves as Dean Reynolds there is trying to get to his inside. 213 there of Randy Shreves. Right, 56 of Randy Shreves, 213 of Michael Vitale. Dean Reynolds there in the 79 as they work here off the corner. 15 laps to go. Matt Barber still your race leader. As Brian Dickens is trying to find some sort of lane to try to run him down here. It looks like he is little by little here as the gap is changing. And yeah, that 122 sitting in second. Brandon Templeton there in third. Working there on the bottom side of the racetrack as they work there. There you got one up there on the higher line. That is the 39.7 of Alex Parmalee. As Randy Shreves tries to chase him down here through corner number 3 and 4. Up there on the top side is Brandon Templeton. Brian Dickens closes in here. He's down to about 0.3 of a second behind Barber. Now just a quarter of a second back. As he is there trying to make something happen here as these laps are closing in. 12 laps to go. drivers doing what they can to try to get up there. 11 laps to go here. All right, I have lost my mouse temporarily, not sure exactly why. Caution is out. We're going to see what this caution is for. All right, we got the mouse back now. Caution is out. Let's take a look at what the caution was for. It looks like John Dubai having some issues. Yellow flag is out. Here we go. Why can't we get down there to see this? We see it all happening there. Oh, come on now. I see him coming around here. Trying to see what happened here. Joe Matt Barber was involved, but I'm not sure exactly why. He was our race leader. John Dubai is who we're trying to look at. Up there on the top of the speedway. You can see that mess there. I just can't get ourselves zoomed in there to really see what happened. There you see the mess that's there. A green flag race, 8 laps to go. Matt Barber out front. Brian Dickens there second. Brandon Templeton there third. Alex Parmalu in fourth. Randy Shreves there in fifth. Any driver battled out. There comes Dean Reynolds down there on the bottom side of Michael Vitelli. Vitelli up there against the outside. Whoa! And here comes Michael Vitelli down there on the inside of Dean Reynolds. Down here in the corner number 3 and 4. He's going to slide it up. Dean Reynolds going to look for the undercut. He does. Coming here off of turn number 4. Matt Barber, 6 laps to go for him as he's got that 122 at Brian Dickens there behind him. Coming down into corner number 3. Dickens getting a great run up on the higher line. Can he hold it? As Barber comes off the low side, keeping that momentum going. Now they both run the low land, coming there through 1 and 2. Brian Dickens there in second. Vitelli now around. We see Dean Reynolds and Michael Vitelli are fighting for a position there. And just beating off of one another's quarter panel. Coming down there, and then all of a sudden, he gets a little help, it looks like, from the 444. That was a 444, and sorry, there it is, Scott Rion. 5 laps to go to complete this run. Matt Barber coming down there to the line, leading them all to the green flag here as this one finishes out. Brandon Templeton up there, way up there against that outside wall here. Brian Dickens there in second. Matt Barber getting a nice jump out there. 4 laps to go. He comes down here in the corner number 3. Brian Dickens getting a good run there, and up into the outside wall goes Templeton. That's going to hurt him some. As he drops it back here into the clutches of Anthony Morano. Down there around off the corner. And I'm trying to figure out 007 of Sam Bachman. He's back here in 11. So points are going to take a little bit of a shake-up here this week. We've got Dickens now up there on the top side. Trying to get up there. 2 laps to go. He's there at the bumper of Barber. Just cannot seem to get that pass to cooperate as they come down through the backstretch. Alex Parmalu there in fourth. Now, as Randy Shreve gets around him in that number 56, and Morano there fifth. Brian Dickens still trying to get up there. Final lap here. Anthony Morano, what a move by him as he gets himself up there in the third. But Randy Shreve fights back here on the outside here, coming down into corner number 3 and 4. Down there on the bottom side, a little bit of tap there from Alex Parmalu to... And it looks like Matt Barber's going to take the lead here with Randy Shreve taking third over top of Anthony Morano. Now we wait for the final results to come in. Your results for the night. Matt Barber is your winner here in the 358s. Brian Dickens is second. Randy Shreve third. Anthony Morano fourth. Alex Parmalu there fifth. Dean Reynolds fifth. Alex Parmalu there fifth. Dean Reynolds sixth. William Watson seventh. Scott Rioman eighth. Kurt Schatzer ninth. Sam Bachman 10th. Craig Christopherson there 11th. Brian Moore 12th. Randall Dixon 13th. Bob DeGood 14th. Jeff Barker 15th. Trevor Garou there in 16th. Harold Klump 17th. And 18th tonight, that's going to be Mike Brewer. And 19th is Dylan Kinsey. 20th is Kelly Wheeler. Mega Watelli brings home 21st. John Dubine 22nd. 23rd will go to Brandon Templeton. And 24th, Joseph Grandi. Get a little warm here in the booth. Man, oh man, what a night of racing it's been so far. Good evening, Randy. How's it going?
Hey, not too bad, man.
Well, you got yourself third place here. You had to really fight for it there at the end, though, with alongside Anthony Morano.
Yeah, man, it's always tough with them guys. I'm not really a modified driver by any means. I like my wing, but you know, sometimes I could put together a pretty good run, and you know, sometimes hang with these guys, and it always feels good when I do.
Well, you look good out there. You had a great night of racing. Looked like it was fun out there. And car seemed to be handling pretty well for you.
Yeah, it handled pretty nicely. Just had to figure out a few things there at the end, and I kind of screwed up a little bit. But yeah, I think I found a little something there, and 1 and 2 just ripping the top, and then 3 and 4 just kind of going just a little bit below the top. But yeah, it paid off there at the end, and just glad to pull off a podium, man.
Well, you look great out there, and like we said, you stayed ahead of Morano. I know he was trying his hardest down there on the bottom side of you.
Oh yeah, he's always a tough contender, man. He's definitely one of the best drivers in these things, in my opinion. But you know, it's always good to finish in front of him. It makes you at least know you're doing something right anyway.
All right, you got sponsors or shout-outs you want to thank for getting up there into the podium here in the 358s?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely want to thank everybody at Coast to Coast for putting on this awesome league. You know, you for the broadcast, Dylan Shreve's Designs for painting my car, KSB Builders, and everybody for watching.
Definitely fun here tonight, and you did a great job there getting that podium. Are we going to see you in any more races tonight?
Yeah, I'll give her another try in these things. We'll see what happens, man.
Alrighty, well, good luck in the big block.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that was Randy Shreves, our third place finisher. Now we'll get with Brian Dixon. Good evening, Dickens. How's it going?
I'm doing well, buddy. How are you?
Doing really well. Just unfortunately, you didn't quite have the, I guess, the track to really chase down Matt Barber. You seemed like you could get up there, but you just couldn't find that momentum to pass him.
Yeah, getting around them was a different story. Creating a little speed was a little easier, but yeah. I thought I was going to be able to get a run a few times on the outside of 4, and was making some speed down in 1 and 2 as well, but just needed that extra room.
And sometimes you just don't quite get the room you need.
Yep, that's right.
So, I mean, all in all, though, you put on a great race. Looked like you had a good run there in your heat race, and just unfortunately couldn't quite cap it off here tonight. But, I mean, still, second place podium, it's still nothing to complain too much about. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how the points stack up after tonight, as I know the points leaders are all through the field tonight.
Yeah, it was a really stacked field here tonight. I mean, just to watch the Consi and see all the good guys and stuff in the Consi, I mean, it was a really good turnout tonight.
Well, you got any sponsors, shout-outs, or anybody that you want to thank for helping you get that second place tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the Dirt Track Bank, everything they do for us, our team, our league, everybody in Dirt Track Racing that they help. I want to thank Hammer Down Racing, Kurt, BT, and Joe. I wish Joe would get back out here and run with us some. You guys on the broadcast, Top Notch Trucking for sponsoring. Everybody at C2C and behind the scenes at C2C, the work that everybody has to put in to put this league on is very much appreciated. Just appreciate it.
All right, well, congrats again for getting second place. And are we going to see you in the big blocks?
Nah, man, I'm a 1 and out, man.
1 and out. All righty. Well, you came in, got the podium, so you're ending your night on a high note then.
Yeah, man. Hope y'all have a good night.
All righty. You too. I have with Brian Dickens. Now we'll get with Matt. Good evening, Matt. How's it going?
Oh, not bad. How are you?
Victory Lane must feel pretty good here in the 358s.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Well, were you concerned at all about Brian Dickens there getting a run on you at all, or did you kind of think you had him just enough?
Absolutely, I was. I had like a second gap, and then I look in my mirror, and he's right there. Like he just reeled me in like nothing. So I was getting a little nervous, but started searching around for more grip. But I don't know. He was just, he was just the one to beat tonight. In my opinion, I mean.
Well,
I just,
he
you
looked
know,
good.
I just stayed as consistent as I could.
Just unfortunately, you were able to keep out in front of him just enough to make it happen.
Yeah, no, it was just a lot of searching around, trying to find where the grip was going, and I thought I figured it out there at the start, and obviously the track evolved, but yeah, I don't know, I didn't really figure it out too much after the start until near the end, I think, but it was a pretty good race. You can't complain.
Well, that's the thing with the dirt track is that track's forever changing. So, I mean, you always got to try to find out where that grip is as the track rubbers up.
Absolutely, yeah. That's it's pretty tricky at times.
So, but you did a good job of it tonight, keeping that number 16 out front. You got sponsors, shout-outs you want to thank for getting up there into that front spot?
For sure, I want to thank Top Notch Trucking for sponsoring this series, Tessie Mechanical, my guys that run the racing program in real life, Dean Reynolds, of course, for sponsoring us and a bunch of, me and a bunch of my buddies that we race with and getting us in this league, so that's awesome. Of course, Vertex Graphics for putting on the he probably wraps about half of the cars in this field, so that's pretty awesome, and you can see why. He does a killer job every single time. And, of course, all my buddies that I'm in Discord with, one of them was basically spotting for me tonight, giving me, being a man in my ear, giving me some tips, so can't complain there. And, yeah, that's about it.
Alrighty, well, congrats on the victory here in the 358s. Are we going to see you in any more races tonight?
Oh, yeah, I'm running all three tonight. Yep.
You're running all three? Well, good luck in the big blocks.
Thank you.
All right, that is Matt Barber, our winner here in the 358s. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back with the big blocks coming up shortly.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight we'll be talking about it.
these dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Good evening again, folks, as we're here from the Speedway. We're looking here at Sam Bachman down there in that 007. He looks like he took the front and left wheel off of that machine. He's running around in a tricycle now instead of being out there in a modified. Not doing terrible getting that thing around as we're getting ready for the qualifying. Go ahead and give you the points here for the big blocks. Anthony Morano out front in the points with 590. Mike Brewer with 589. So 1 point difference between Anthony Morano and Mike Brewer. Sam Bachman there in third. Jeffrey Barker in third as they are tied at 498 apiece. And Clay Christopherson is sitting in fifth with 489 points. So a tight group here on the tight grouping here on the big blocks. As qualifying starts to commence. Having pretty decent turnout as well. Come on now, would you do what I want? There we go. Anthony Morano out on track, along with Chad Lackey. And at number 91, Mr. Bob DeGood out there in the number 7, Kubota. William Watson in the number 23. Dylan Kinsey in the 639. All right, Brandon Templeton laid down a quick time as we see them coming in here. Randall Dixon with an 18.882. Dylan Kinsey comes real close with an 18.882 as well. Just ends up a little bit short there and gets second at the moment. And then Trevor Guru comes through with an 18.862 for Trevor Guru. Dropping Randall Dixon back there into second. They all seem to have qualified here. Clay Christopherson's back there on the bottom. Patrick Spangler down there with a 19.302. Sam Bachman running a few extra laps here, along with Michael Vitale, parking it down there on the bottom. Vitale in 7th place right now with an 18.939. Qualifying has now ended. We'll get with our Heat 1. Kelly Wheeler will start on pole at Heat 1. Those outside, Michael Vitale in 2nd row. Sam Bachman in 3rd on the inside in that 007. Trevor Guru will roll off in 4th with that 075. And inside row number 3 is William Watson starting in 5th, with Randy Shreves in the number 56 starting his outside. Alex Parmalu in 7th in that 397 with Clay Christopherson rounding out your field here tonight in heat number 1. Oh, these are the big blocks. Should be a great race. Sam Bachman there 3rd, Trevor Guru there 4th, William Watson there 5th. All right, coming out of turn 4, getting ready to go. Michael Vitale there in 2nd, up there on the high side. You got Kelly Wheeler down there on the inside. Green flag is out there. Yeah, match that loud pedal down here in the quarter number 1. Look out, here comes Sam Bachman down there on the inside. And here comes Trevor Guru. We saw that he was quick in qualifying, and he's showing all that speed up there on the outside, wasting no time, getting up there in the 3rd, trying to get up around Kelly Wheeler up there in the 2nd as he does so up here through turns number 1 and 2. Down there on the bottom side, Sam Bachman as they battle out through off of 2, down that backstretch. Trevor Guru up there in the 2nd. He's trying to chase down Michael Vitale. Vitale knows he might not have the speed there, it looks like, as he drops down there to the bottom side. Trevor Guru up there on the top side. 7 laps to go, 6 laps to go now. Here as they roll in the quarter number 1. 23, there of William Watson in the middle of Randy Shreves and Clay Christopherson as they battle it down the backstretch. Michael Vitale still hanging on to the lead for the time being as Trevor Guru now battles down there on the inside, getting a run off of 4 down that front straightaway, and it's still going to be Michael Vitale taking that lap, but Trevor Guru getting the run down here in the quarter number 1, gets around him. Vitale now falls back into 2nd. Kelly Wheeler there in 3rd, and Sam Bachman now driving for 3rd down there below him, down on the bank, around off of turn number 3 and 4. Kelly Wheeler still holds on to that 3rd spot coming across the line as Alex Ford to go down here through turn number 1 and 2. Kelly Wheeler trying to get up there to Michael Vitale. Sam Bachman still trying to find that piece of momentum that he needs to get up there to Kelly Wheeler. Randy Shreves back here in 5th as he's looking to the inside now. Also that 397 of Alex Parmalu down there on the inside of the 23, William Watson. They battle it through turn 1 and 2. Down that backstretch, 3 laps to go here in heat number 1. Kelly Wheeler up there in 2nd. Sam Bachman there in 4th. Michael Vitale 2nd. Trevor Guru out front. Started 4th because of the invert. Qualified the fastest. Ended up getting the invert here for heat number 1, dropping him back and forth to start. And he fought his way up there pretty quickly into that front position now as Michael Vitale and Kelly Wheeler battle it out here for 2nd position. And right behind him is Sam Bachman as well. Michael Vitale sitting in 2nd, kind of where he started this race. Kelly Wheeler there in 3rd. Sam Bachman there in 4th. Now Sam Bachman back up to 3rd as Kelly Wheeler ends up the racetrack. Coming off the corner. They do keep them apart as they race out here to the backstretch. Heat 1 results coming in. Trevor Garou gets your win. Michael Patelli there second. Sam Bachman third. Kelly Wheeler fourth. Randy Shreves there fifth. William Watson there sixth. Alex Parmalu there seventh. Clay Christopherson in eighth. Heat number 2, the grid. Matt Barber out there in front. Dean Reynolds in second. Harold Klump in third. Randall Dixon there fourth. Jeff Barker fifth. Brandon Templeton there in sixth, with Brian Moore there in seventh. All right, coming on down, Drew. They are coming off. Getting a great start here. As they roll down here off the corner, you got Dean Reynolds up there in the top side. Matt Barber down there on the inside. Hey, drivers try to hang it out here. Green flag is out there, down and away. In the corner number 1, Matt Barber out front, right? Dean Reynolds there second. Harold Klump there in third. Randall Dixon fourth. As you see that number 2, Harold Klump, he struggled last race at the 358. Now he might have found something here in the big block as they roll it around here. Getting up there on that wheel, trying to get it off of turn number 2. You've got Randall Dixon there behind him in that 11 or that 011 machine. As we see back there, that 55 of Brian Moore. At 31, Brandon Templeton down there on the inside. Battle for first as Dean Reynolds tries to hang on to it there. And Matt Barber down there on the inside. Matt Barber, our winner there. And the 358 comes out here and shows that it wasn't just a fluke, because he's out here winning his heat in the big block. As we're here in the heat number 2. And now Dean Reynolds gets down there on the low side, but Matt Barber getting a run there off the top side. What a run that was to keep that spot alive as he comes there through 3 and 4. Harold Klump there in third. He's now underneath of Dean Reynolds. Could not quite get it to stick as they run through the middle here on turn 1 and 2. 4 laps to go here in heat number 2. Dean Reynolds is, Matt Barber is your leader. Dean Reynolds in second. Harold Klump there in fourth now. Brandon Templeton trying to battle him down there on the inside. Brandon Templeton trying to get up there into that third spot. Dean Reynolds up there on the top side. He's now got Brandon Templeton down there to the bottom side of him. As Brandon gets around Harold. Harold falls back into fourth. Down here through turn 3 and 4 they go. Brandon Templeton down on the bottom side trying to really work that wheel. Get up there on it to try to get around Dean Reynolds. And they work down that back stretch. 2 laps to go here in heat number 2. Dean Reynolds there in second. Brandon Templeton there third. That is the battle we're looking at. As you see Harold Klump there in fourth. Randall Dixon down there on the inside of Harold now. And they come across the line. Harold has company from Randall Dixon down on the inside. Right now, looks like Dixon may have him for a moment, but no. Harold Klump gets that run. Final lap here as they come out of turn number 2. It's going to be Matt Barber out front. Dean Reynolds there in second. Brandon Templeton trying to fight down there on the bottom side. Randall Dixon getting around Harold Klump. As now Harold Klump falls back in the 5th. Heat 2 results on their way up. Matt Barber gets the win. Dean Reynolds there in second. Brandon Templeton there third. Randall Dixon fourth. Harold Klump 5th. Brian Moore there in 6th. Jeff Barker in 7th. All right, starting on the grid here, out front, John Dubai, Chad Lackey there in second. Anthony Morano will roll off third. Dylan Kinsey fourth. Scott Rion fifth. Bob DeGood there in sixth. And Patrick Spangler rolls off in seventh in heat number 3. Anthony Morano back there in third. Chad Lackey there second. They roll on down through off the corner. Everybody antsy to get this heat underway. Green flag out, and they are down here in the corner number 1. Chad Lackey getting a great jump there on the start on the high side. Brings it down around. He's got John Dubai down there in second. Dylan Kinsey there third. As Anthony Morano drops back there in the fourth, coming there off the corner. So that outside lane getting quite the run there. As they work there off the corner, John Dubai there in second in that number 21. Dylan Kinsey there in the 639. He's going to try to move it on up there, and he does. Up in the second position, John Dubai there in third now. That's Scott Rion's back here in fourth. Anthony Morano in fifth. Seems like Anthony might be struggling just a tad here in the big blocks tonight. As John Dubai comes down across the nose of the the 444, I believe. Might have been the 7. Trying to look here. As Scott Rion is up into the outside wall down the backstretch. 6 laps to go, soon to be 5 as they come across the stripe. There with Chad Lackey out there in front. Dylan Kinsey there second. Anthony Morano there third. John Dubai fourth. Patrick Spangler up to fifth as he's made some good moves here coming there off at corner number 2. Down into corner number 3 and 4. Dylan Kinsey there in second. Right behind him is Anthony Morano. And Morano's finally getting something figured out here. As he's looking to the inside there at Dylan Kinsey. Right on down through here, off the corner. Chad Lackey up there in front. Dylan Kinsey second. Anthony Morano there third. John Dubai fourth. Patrick Spangler back here in fifth. Getting underneath the 21 of John Dubai as he works down the backstretch. He's there at the back quarter. Can he make something happen here coming through the corner? He gets out there just by an edge. Can he hold on to it here as they come out of the corner? Not quite, but he's still there as they work down here in the corner number 1. He's going to try to slide it on down in there once again. This time he does get it down there, and he does get it to stick as he slides up there in front of John Dubai. Down here in the corner number 4, John Dubai falls back in the 5th. As Patrick Spangler brings it up there in the 4th. Anthony Morano there in 3rd. Dylan Kinsey 2nd. Chad Lackey rolling out there in front. Final lap here as they work down the backstretch. Dylan Kinsey, their 2nd. Final time in the corner number 3 and 4. They work around back to the front stretch once again in that checkered flag. Chad Lackey gonna be your winner here as he rolls out of turn number 4 with Dylan Kinsey there in 2nd. Anthony Morano there 3rd. Patrick Spangler up to 4th. John Dubai falling clear back in the 5th. Your Heat 3 results coming up. Chad Lackey is your winner of Heat 3. Dylan Kinsey there 2nd. Anthony Morano there 3rd. Patrick Spangler 4th. John Dubai there in 5th. Scott Rion 6th. Bob DeGood there in 7th. And we'll take a short break. We'll be back after they warm up.
dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us, we wanted to use them for others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and it got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae in my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in the race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, here we go. Back from the speedway, we are getting the grid here. Trevor Garou starting on pole. Matt Barber, there's second. Chad Lackey, third. Mike Vitale, fourth. Dean Reynolds, fifth. Dylan Kinsey's there in sixth. Sam Bachman, seventh. Brandon Templeton, eighth. Anthony Morano there in ninth. Kelly Wheeler, 10th. Randall Dixon there in 11th. In 12th is Patrick Spangler. In 13th, that's going to be Randy Shreves with Harold Club 14th. John Dubai there 15th. William Watson 16th. Brian Moore will roll off in 17th. Scott Riome in 18th. Alex Parmalu in 19th. Jeff Barker there in 20th. And Bob the Good 21st. Clayton Christopherson in 22nd. Lights are out on the pace machine. We're going to be getting ready to go. Green flag racing here. Trevor Garou out front. Matt Barber there in second. Chad Lackey there third. Dean Reynolds fourth. Michael Vitale there fifth. Down the front stretch they go into corner number one. Trevor Garou getting off to a great jump there. Matt Barber up there on the high side as they roll here. Off of turn number two, down that back stretch to 91 of Chad Lackey. Sitting there at the bottom side of Matt Barber as they work down here through turns 3 and 4. Back around onto the front stretch they go. As you see them here rolling off there 2 by 2. You've got Anthony Morano down there on the inside trying to battle his way up there. There's Dean Reynolds and Michael Vitale battling it out together as they roll down the back stretch. As you see, Mike Vitale up there in the fourth now as he tries to get up there a little farther as he's got Chad Lackey there in third as they battle it all down here through the front stretch down into corner number 1 and 2. The 007 of Sam Bachman up there on the high side above Anthony Morano. with Brandon Templeton there behind him as they work up there. Now Brandon Templeton up there on the high side beside Anthony Morano as they roll on here through turns 3 and 4. Chad Lackey up to second now. He's looking to make a run there as the leader. Now he's down there on the inside trying to get the power off the corner. Drew still doing a great job on the higher line. As Lackey's there on the bottom side, a little bit above there. Now here they come off of turn number 4. Everybody nice and tight. Michael Vitale there in 4th. Right there above Dean Reynolds. Them two battling it out quite a bit here tonight. As Dylan Kinsey's there in 6th. Sam Bachman in 7th. Now 8th as Templeton gets around them. Hang on to it there. We're getting a little antsy there. We got Lackey there in 2nd. Trying to battle around Guru as he's down there on the bottom side. Right now has it by a nose as he slides it on down into corner number 3 and 4. Guru still fighting back on the high side as they battle it on back down through here, down through the front stretch. It's not me. That's tough to call there at that line as these two are still battling it out hard up here at the front. Here with 24 laps to go in your main feature event here tonight. And they head on down through off the corner, side by side, still for the lead. You got Matt Barber out there in 3rd with Dylan Kinsey in 4th. As Dean Reynolds back here in 5th. Sam Bachman has crashed. See if we can figure out what happened to Bachman here. You see him coming down through there. Bachman's where? Up there. Okay, so looks like Dean Reynolds gets loose, comes up there. Vitale then comes up into the side of Sam Bachman. Vitale and Dean all check up. Everything's a mess there down the front stretch. As then he ends up into the outside wall coming down here in the corner number 1 up on top. Vitale, Morano, all up there, crushed against the outside wall. Bachman's just trying to keep it up out of the way. So 23 laps to go with our first caution on the speedway. Green flag back in the air down here in the corner number 1. Trevor Carew getting a quick start, as so does Chad Lackey down there on the bottom side. Them two battling it out quite a bit before the caution come out. Chad Lackey picking up where he left off down there on the inside. Here comes Dylan Kinsey, though, working that outside lane as they work down here through turns 3 and 4. Back across here. Spangler out, Barker possibly out. As they roll on down through here, Trevor Carew up there on the top side. Chad Lackey working that bottom side. And so is Dylan Kinsey. Kinsey's working more in the middle of the racetrack. Matt Barber back here in about 4th. Our 358 winner. Trevor Carew, though, what a run he's having here so far, along with Chad Lackey as he's down there on the bottom side. Dylan Kinsey up there towards that outside berm as they come here off the corner down that front straightaway. 19 laps to go here for the feature event in the 358 Big Block Showdown. I'm not sure if anybody's got a 358 out here, though, for that. As they are pretty sure everybody's running big blocks as big as this track is. I'd be surprised learning somebody having a 358 out there. Down here through corner number 1 and 2, you got Matt Barber there in fourth. Chad Lackey now back to third. Dylan Kinsey brings it up into second with Trevor Grew leading the race there in front. Kelly Wheeler in fifth as they come around there. Trying to get tangled up there. Dean Reynolds and others there on that last caution. William Watson down there in eighth as he's got Vitelli underneath him coming through turns 1 and 2. Harold Klump back here in 10th. As Scott Riome is also back here and it's sitting about 11th. Drivers all over the racetrack right now as these drivers try to find their best line. 16 laps to go. It's got the triple four there of Scott Riome working his way up through the field as he's now up there in the 10th. Mike Vitale sitting there in 9th. Working on down through turns 3 and 4. Trevor Garou out front. Dylan Kinsey there in second. Chad Lackey there third. Matt Barber in fourth. Anthony Morano there fifth. Down in the corner, numbers 3 and 4. These drivers doing everything they can. Here comes Morano down there on the inside. Can't quite get there as Barber is hanging it in there for fourth position right now, right behind Chad Lackey. Dylan Kinsey now trying to make a run there. Garou got this thing locked up out front at the moment as they come around turns 3 and 4, heading here to 13 to go to come across the line. Morano now getting a run at Matt Barber down there on the inside. Gets almost a 2-for-1 as he slides up there, getting up there close to Chad Lackey. Morano trying to find that slider line to get him out through the corner. Matt Barber, though, is not going to have none of it as he works down there on the inside now. He's going to get back around Anthony Morano for the time being down here in the corner number 1. 12 laps to go. As you see, Matt Barber getting underneath Chad Lackey now. As Morano then gets him back around Barber. Barber now has to dive it back down. He's going to try to get back underneath Morano. And he does so down the front straightaway. In the corner number 1 once again. He's going to slide it back up. Going to put Morano back behind him, hopefully, as they work here off of 2. These two battling it out quite hard here as they come back down in the corner number 3 and 4. Chad Lackey drops down to the bottom side, getting in the way a little bit of Matt Barber and Anthony Morano as they work on down through here. Now, Chad Lackey up the racetrack. Here comes Matt Barber. He's sitting there for it. And Morano battling there in second. John Dubai and Brandon Templeton having problems. Caution is out. I see it all unfold there. There's the 011 of Randall Dixon. Come down through here. There's the 21 of John Dubai going around, along with Brandon Templeton. All right, getting ready for the green flag here. And you see Trevor Carew getting back after it. Down here in the corner number 1. Trevor Carew out front, leading the way. Dylan Kinsey there in second. Anthony Morano there in third. As Morano's down there underneath Dylan Kinsey, now coming there off of turn number 2. Chad Lackey trying to get up there as he's in 4th right now. Don't want to watch everybody roll away here as Morano's down there along that berm on the bottom side of the racetrack as he's getting up there beside Trevor Carew. Trevor Carew running that high line there, trying to just stay ahead of everybody. But Morano, it might have found something down there on the bottom side now as he comes down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Down there back along the bottom edge, down there along that bank. As they come there off the corner, Trevor Carew still hangs it out there in front. 6 laps to go here. As Carew ends up there towards the outside wall, has to gather up and get the momentum down the backstretch. Morano down there on the inside, back down there along that inside apron. As they come here off of 4, it's going to be too close there at the line, but I'm going to say it was Carew at the line that time. As they come here off of corner number 2, Anthony Morano still has it by a little bit. Now down here in the corner number 3 and 4, 5 to go. There through 3 and 4. Dylan Kinsey jumps up there to the high side. Chad Lackey, now he's going to try to get involved as Anthony Morano does get out front for the time being there as Trevor Carew tries to chase it back down as he gets there to the back bumper. Ends up on the top side once again as Carew comes there through turns 3 and 4. Up there on the high side, but Morano's going to get the run off the bottom. Chad Lackey there in 3rd now down there on the bottom side as he gets underneath. And here comes Dylan Kinsey also into the mix. And they all work here through turns 3 and 4. Coming around, 2 laps to go. Anthony Morano out front. Trevor Carew there 2nd. Chad Lackey 3rd. Dylan Kinsey there 4th. Off end up. Matt Barber rolling off there. Chad Lackey 3rd. Trevor Carew. And in the corner number 3 and 4, Anthony Morano out there in front. Trevor Carew there 2nd. One more time around, and they come across the stripe. Anthony Morano out front. Trevor Carew there in 2nd. Anybody got anything for anybody? As Chad Lackey looks to the inside, and Trevor Carew coming here off of turn number 2 down the backstretch. Chad Lackey going to try to dive it in there. Cannot quite get it there, and Trevor Carew dives it in there as well. They're going to try to stay single file here as they come off of turn 4 for the final time. Anthony Morano is going to be your winner. Trevor Carew there 2nd. Chad Lackey takes 3rd. Waiting on your finish results to come in. Anthony Morano, your winner here tonight in the big blocks. Trevor Carew in 2nd. Chad Lackey 3rd. Dylan Kinsey in 4th. Dean Reynolds 5th. Matt Barber rolls off and finishes tonight 6th with William Watson 7th. Kelly Wheeler 8th. Scott Rio 9th. Randy Freeze there 10th. Sam Bachman 11th. Craig Christopherson there 12th. Mike Vitale there 13th. Jeff Parker 14th. Harold Plump 15th. Alex Parmalee there 16th. 17th is Randall Dixon. Finishing tonight 18th is Brian Moore. John Dubai 19th. Bob the Good there 20th. Brandon Templeton there in 21st. And Patrick Spangler finishes tonight in 22nd. All right, here we go. Our finishing order, as we'll get with them here. We can, if I can get this to do what I want it to do. All right, Chad Lackey. Good evening, Chad. How's it going?
Good, yourself?
It's going well. It's going well. You got third place here in the big blocks.
Yeah, the car felt good tonight. Started off there. Honestly, the track was gripped up there nicely off the start, and as it went away and slowly drifted up the track, I don't know, the car I felt just went away. But the last restart there, I watched Anthony there on the bottom. I was tempting to go down there early on, but I figured I'd just try that top first in 1 and 2, and then try the bottom in 3 and 4. But as soon as he dive bombed there going into the first turn, I knew right then and there that the line was back down at the bottom. So I let, as soon as he got by me there, I tried to sneak in behind him, try to follow him, see how he was rolling those corners. Honestly, it was, I don't get how he does it. He makes that car work amazing on the bottom. He's such a good late race racer. It's awesome to follow him, and he's just a great person to learn off of.
Well, I know you were battling there with Trevor Garou for second place. He was making that outside line work.
Yeah, I was watching him up there. I think I was a little faster than Trevor there at the end. I think he used up some of his tires there late in the race. So I hoping to get to the run there on the bottom, but did a nice job there at the end blocking me. Yeah.
Great job there tonight getting that third place. You got sponsors and shout-outs you'd like to give here for helping you get into that second place?
Yeah, I just got to give a quick shout-out there to Dean Reynolds for sponsoring all of my Canadian buddies and C2C and 802. Got to give a shout-out to all the guys in Discord there. Vertex Graphics for hooking me up with the sweet wrap, and mostly all the guys there in C2C cars that he's made. Just want to give a shout out to my mom and dad there. Just want to say a quick hello to them. All the guys there at C2C put this on. Of course, yourself, Adam, for doing the live stream there. And yeah.
It's my pleasure here. I enjoy it. We'll see what I can do here coming up. But as we're heading into the Pro Late models, are you running in those as well?
No, I gotta head to bed there. I gotta work early in the morning.
Okay. Well, you enjoy getting that up there on the podium here in the big blocks, and we'll see you next week.
All right, Adam. Thanks.
That was Chad Lackey, our third place finisher. Now we'll get with Trevor Garou. Good evening, Trevor. How's it going?
Good, you?
It's going well. Unfortunately, you didn't have enough to kind of hold off Morano there at the end, but you still came out with second.
Yeah, I mean, I just wasn't willing to commit to the bottom like him, and he's always fast on the bottom, so I felt comfortable. I just put the car where I felt comfortable, and that was in the middle towards the top, and it was fast for, I don't know, probably 80 or 90% of the race, and just started falling off there at the wrong time for me, and probably didn't want to see a couple of those yellows either, but that's racing.
You did a good job. You kept the car in one piece, and you're looking pretty good out there in the big blocks.
Yeah, I got some good finishes under my belt. Got a couple wins in these things over the last couple seasons, and feeling comfortable in these mods here. I'm more of a late model guy, but I do enjoy running these. They're pretty fun to run, and especially with all the FTM boys, they're mostly mod guys, I'd say. So feeling more comfortable in these things every time I'm in them. It's showing good speed every week, and at least I try to show good speed every week, and yeah.
Alrighty, well, congrats, and are we going to see you in the Pro Late models coming up?
Oh yeah, I'm already in here ready, and you'll definitely see me.
Alrighty, well, good luck to you.
All right, thank you. I just want to thank a couple sponsors before I go. Just of course, Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series, Expert Installation, Castleberry Flagstone, everyone on this car, JRB Designs, all the guys at FTM for just being good hype guys. I mean, it's being on this team. I've seen improvements, and they're always encouraging, and it's a good group of guys. So shout out to those guys, and it was a great run for us in the big block. So happy to see that.
All righty. Well, hopefully you can keep that run going here as you head into the Pro Late Models.
All right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that was Trevor Guru, our second place finisher. Now we'll get with Anthony Morano. Good evening, Anthony. How's it going? You there, Anthony?
Hey, what's up, Adam?
Oh, not a whole lot. Seems like you struggled in the 358s a little bit.
I struggled in qualifying in the 358s and put myself behind the 8-ball and had to come through the B main and still came up to 4th, so picked up 10 spots. I think that was pretty good.
Well, you did a good job here in the big blocks, bringing it up 8 positions here in the feature here to bring you home on the victory lap, and in the victory lane, I should say. So, I mean, not too bad there. Finding that grip on the bottom.
Yeah, there's a lot of rolling the throttle and playing with the brake a little bit on the entry going into 3 to try to get the car load up to stay down there.
Yeah, there didn't seem to be a whole lot on the bottom, but if you caught it right, it looks like that's where the speed was.
Yeah, there was a lot of grip down there, right along the berm on the exit, so I was trying to hit that as most consistently as possible, and it was working pretty good. The slider line in 1 and 2 there into the middle, coming out right above the slick. Car was pretty much just hooked up the whole time.
It definitely looked like it was hooked up, and you did a great job getting it up there into the lead, and you still hold on to the points lead then.
That's the plan. Try to get at least 2 of them. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, Brewer was there. Brewer was behind you by 1 point going into tonight.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Yeah, Mike Brewer was there behind you by 1 point in the big blocks.
Oh man, I guess I have to really start watching out for those things.
It wasn't quite wrapped up as much as you thought it was it?
No, I thought I had a little more of a comfortable gap there, but I guess that'll happen. So we'll just keep racing, doing what we got to do, and pick up what we can.
Alrighty, well, congrats on the victory here tonight, and we'll see you on track in the Pro Late Models.
Absolutely.
Oh, before you go, you got sponsors and shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, I got to thank my wife, Sherry, the boys over at FTM, Dina Super Air Car, Logan at High Mom Lens, Swan Speed Shop, DJ Sim Shop, Vertex Graphics, Rocky Photography, Shaggy TV, Adam, you and Fleeger Farm TV coming out and doing the broadcast for us and everyone at Coast to Coast.
All right, well, congrats again on Get Victory, and good luck in the race coming up.
Thanks a lot.
All right, well, that'll wrap it up here from the 358 and the big blocks. Let's see if we can get Shaggy here. Good evening, Shaggy. You there?
Yeah, what's going on, Adam?
Oh, not a whole lot. A lot of excitement going on so far tonight. And can't wait to see what the Pro Late Models bring us.
Yeah, man, it looks good. I mean, I imagine, I don't want to put more on your plate here, Adam, but I assume you're going to be racing here tonight again?
Oh, if you're broadcasting it, I will be. We're going to try anyway. I don't
Yeah,
know how
yeah,
well
so-
the eyesight is, but we're going to try.
Well, you coming in here, that'll give us 15 cars, Adam. That's why I asked. So that's a good amount of cars here. Got a lot of guys showing up. And, well, you mentioned, man, there was some good racing in the big block. I caught the end of that. Noticed the bottom was working, top side dominant. But I think we'll get another case of that here. I think we'll get some good two-line racing. And, man, the Knoxville Raceway never disappoints.
No, it don't. It's always been a lot of great racing, and can't wait to see what it prevails here for us. So if you're ready, whenever you're ready there, we'll get it switched over, and hopefully I can get in there before they close it off.
Oh, you'll be good. They're waiting on me. We'll